Computer, and we are recording. Hey everyone, welcome to the True Nosh Kitchen again. I am Renee and it's Tuesday, so we are going to be sharing a recipe with you in my kitchen as well as a small webinar about some nutrition topics that are relevant to most people living in the world. So we're heading into the middle of fall, and many people are starting to get quite, homebodies because the weather is getting cold and it's starting to get rainy, and a lot of people are trying to see what they can do to maintain a healthy weight in this time of year. So today's topic is going to be about weight loss and nutrition. So once again, I'm going to share my screen. I have some slides that I prepared, and we're going to go through them together. So I am Renee, and those of you who don't know me, I've been doing Diga Tuesdays, which is with the Disability Foundation, excuse me. And I am a registered dietitian, but I work together with the Disability Foundation to help promote healthy eating, and hopefully people can get some ideas on how to cook with different foods and ingredients to make themselves a lot happier and healthier. So our topic today again is weight loss. I'm a registered dietitian. I am in BC in Vancouver, and I have a company called True Nosh. So those of you who want to know me a little bit more can go to my website truenosh.com, and if there are any questions after the presentation, feel free to email me info@truenosh.com, and I will try to get to you as soon as possible. So why we're talking about weight loss? Well, it is important to keep a healthy weight for good health, right? Keeping a healthy weight can prevent a lot of chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol. So those are very much resonating in a lot of people's families. So someone you love may be suffering from diabetes, and they could benefit from keeping a healthy weight. My father passed away from diabetes, and I know that he could definitely have a much better lifespan if he kept a healthy weight. So there are so many different diets out there and weight loss programs, but a lot of them are not really healthy, and I want to really kind of focus on the healthy aspects of weight loss, and it's different for everybody. So that's why it's important to talk to your healthcare provider as well as your doctor or your registered dietitian. Because if you lose weight too fast, there could be many risks for other health problems that include muscle loss, even gallbladder stones, and nutritional deficiencies. So you don't want to be nutritional deficient in your vitamin and minerals, because you're really requiring them to help you function, okay? And also, if you lose weight too quickly, your metabolism drops, and that could be a counter effect on what I consider a healthy weight loss regimen. So who should lose weight? Well, everyone's different, as I said. You want to take a look at your blood tests. So if you go to a doctor occasionally and you want to kind of have your blood checked every so often, usually once a year, and you want to look at your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure levels, if they're high, and also your sugar levels, so your glucose levels, and your doctor will determine if you are pre-diabetic or if you already having symptoms of type 2 diabetes. Those are important factors to look at in your blood tests, as well as your BMI, okay? And this is different for everybody because it tends to deal with your weight as well as how much you weigh, but it doesn't take into how much lean body mass you have in your body. So you want to be able to talk about your BMI with your registered dietitian or doctor to assess what category you're in. And you want to be in between about, above 20 to about 24. And between that window, usually your BMI should be in a normal range. And if you're creeping up above, closer to 24 and above, you might want to consider uptaking a healthier regimen and doing some regular physical activity to help you maintain that into and put that into your lifestyle. Okay, and what you want to assess when you are doing everyday activities. If you have any pain when you are walking, like walking to your car or walking upstairs, those are indication when you have some excess weight that you're carrying. Your joints might be painful when you're carrying so much weight up and down the stairs. So you want to be mindful of where it hurts, and sometimes doing some daily activities, and you will have to assess yourself to see what you can do to maintain a healthier weight. Do you snore loud? So occasionally people do snore, but sometimes you tend to snore louder than normal. And if you have some fat stores around your neck, that can narrow your airway, and that can cause other issues too, and that could be very dangerous. So you want to be mindful of that and seek a doctor's help when you have issues around your narrowing of your airways. Also, too much fat around your body can produce excess estrogen, and those are pertaining to mostly women, which is linked to breast cancer and other hormones that may promote other types of cancers because they promote tumor growth. So these are some things that people who are thinking maybe they should lose some weight to consider in their daily lives. So what is considered a healthy weight loss? So according to many people, and those are doctors and dietitians, losing about 1 to 2 pounds a week is considered a healthy, safe weight to lose. But it really pertains on how much you are weighing currently and what your goals that you set for yourself are, and if those goals are sustainable and if they're realistic, right? So even a modest weight loss, I'm talking about 5 to 10% of your total body weight, and you want to talk to a doctor or your dietitian about the percentage because everyone's different. And that alone can produce healthy benefits, and you can improve your blood pressure, it can improve your cholesterol, and can normalize your blood sugars. And also with all of that improvement, you can see some sort of improvement in your, your quality of life, and you may find it a good way to lose a steady weight of 1 pound a week until you reach your healthy goal weight. And that's also something that you can set with your doctor or your dietitian and have them be accountable. And you can also have a friend that you can also talk to if you have someone that can support you. That is also something that is good for your health. Any diet really is helpful if it is sustainable, and also if it tends to have fewer calories than what you are taking in every day. So good foods and bad foods aren't really something that I focus on, because I consider all foods something that you need. If you need it at that moment, then it's a food that you need, okay? And changing how you behave and the ways you feel about food is also important too. So those of you might consider talking to a therapist can help you change your mindset towards the foods that you eat. And it is something that you want to embody, because food is a part of everybody's life, and you want to have a good relationship with your food too. Remember that 1 pound of fat contains about 3,500 calories. So which equates to, if you want to lose 1 pound a week, you need to burn about 500 more calories than you eat a day. So if you're thinking of 1 week is 7 days, that's about 3,500 calories. And those type of calories you want to look when you're purchasing a packaged food product. Those information you can find in the back of the package in the nutritional labels. You don't want to be too fixated on counting calories because you also want to improve your quality of life, right? If you lose a lot of weight very quickly, as I said before, you may not lose as much fat as you would with more of a modest rate of weight loss. So if you are setting your goals at 5 pounds a week, and that might be counterintuitive because you actually are losing more of a water weight instead of actually fat. And that could be harmful in the long run, and you can rebound really quickly if you hop off that weight loss wagon that you put yourself on, okay? So physical activity is also super important with maintaining a healthy weight. So jogging or cycling, and I mean, in this time where it's raining and cold a lot, you might want to take up some physical activity at home. You know, when you're watching TV, you can lift some water bottles. You can start cleaning your house more often. And walking around is not, if it's not something that you can do, you can also take an online yoga class or an online breathing class that can help you with your physical and mental health, as well as improve circulation. So some stretching videos that you can find easily when you Google it on YouTube that can help you, even just 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. Whatever you can do really helps, just very little at a time, and you can build it up, right? Circulation is important to bring oxygen to around your body and also help you remove waste. Exercise also helps increase lean body mass. So those of you who are worried if they have enough bone density, and if you have a family of history of osteoporosis, physical activity is super important about maintaining your lean body mass so you don't lose any bone density, and therefore your bones remain healthy and strong. Physical activity also promotes muscles, so that protects against obesity. Muscles also promote insulin sensitivity, therefore preventing diabetes. And circulation, we talked about that. And also it can help you manage stress. So when you exercise, serotonin is released, and you can have a sense of accomplishment and feel happier after you release a little bit of stress doing some physical activity too. And when you build muscle, you can help prevent chronic diseases, especially as we get older. So some strategies that you can incorporate into your life when you want to start losing weight and you've made the decision that you are starting a regimen that you can help yourself lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. You want to make sure you're ready, and you want to find your inner motivation. So you want to ask yourself some questions before you take on some regimens that you are introducing into your life that's not normally in your life, right? Because really important to ask yourself if this weight loss plan that you're putting yourself on, or you're working with a dietitian or a doctor on, is sustainable long-term, and you can commit to it for weeks and months and years at a time, right? So ask yourself, are you motivated to lose weight? What distractions are in your life that may deter yourself from losing this weight? Do you use food to cope with stress? So you might want to think of talking to a therapist to make yourself understand food a little bit better. Are you ready to learn or use other strategies to cope with stress? So other things, not dealing with, not using food to cope with stress, right? Do you need other support? So do you have friends around you that you can talk to, or other professionals that you can talk to manage this stress? And are you really willing to change some of your eating habits? These are important questions to ask about changing your habits, your activities, your time spent on making these changes is also very important. Can you put out, 10 to 15 minutes a day to think of these things to help you maintain and lose this weight that you are so committed to losing? Talking to a doctor and addressing stressors and emotions seems like obstacles, but it really helps you determine your readiness. And when you're ready, it's much easier to set these goals, and it's much more easy to add it into your daily life because you have that mindset and you're going to have an easier time not coming off of this regimen, okay? Another strategy is to enjoy healthier foods. So in the last 4 to 5 months, we've been talking about different foods that you can cook at home. I've shared at least 50 odd recipes every week. So I encourage you to review some of my sessions previously on the ConnecTra Society's YouTube channel, as well as the Facebook channel. So those are always posted, and you can always review those in your own time. Adopting a new eating style promotes weight loss because you need to lower your total calorie intake. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you have to eat bland and foods that you don't like. It means that you need to figure out different recipes and spices that you can use to cook foods to make it taste great, right? And those are the times that you can go and Google a really good recipe and go and experiment with different types of vegetables when you are grocery shopping. I always encourage people to buy one vegetable that they've never eaten before when they go out to a grocery store to shop, because that's very exciting and it really puts you in an uncomfortable situation that you want to make this food palatable and fun to eat. Eating more plant-based foods. So plant-based food has fiber and has a lot of nutrients that you can't get when you're not eating too many fruits and vegetables. And also it has a lot of antioxidants in them that requires you eating different colors of fruits and vegetables and whole grains. These can help you achieve your goals without giving out the taste and the nutrition of your meals. Getting your weight loss started can be quite easy, right? So you can put into your goal setting eating at least 4 servings of fruits and vegetables daily, maybe replacing your white rice and your white breads with whole grain rice and whole grain breads. And then modest amounts of healthy fats, right? Healthy fats we talked about in a whole session at least 2 months ago. We talked about different types of oils, just such as olive oil, vegetable oil, avocado oil, and having a variety of nuts and seeds in your snacking habits can be very beneficial to you as well. Cutting back on sugar-free foods and foods that have added sugar in them. So look back into our session, we talked about nutritional labeling and ingredients. That's a very important session for you to understand and look at when you are buying a packaged food item. Always look at the ingredients and see what's in your food as well as what's in it per serving. Cutting back on sugar and sodium is important too. And you want to really always choose water when you are thirsty and not go towards that sugary pop or fruit juice, right? And healthy dairy products that can be very helpful to your breakfast situation, right? So some yogurt can be really good when you're mixing it with your favorite granola or your favorite fruit compote. We've taught you how to make a really easy fruit jam without using sugar, and I encourage you to make your own, because that's when you feel most satisfied, is when you can make really, really gourmet and yummy foods and knowing the ingredients that are in it. Lean meat and poultry are also very important too. And we'll talk about that in the next few slides with a healthy, balanced diet, right? This we actually already talked about. This is just a duplicate slide. So this slide is what you want to focus on when you are thinking about your own diet. So having quality protein. It depends on your physical activity levels, and if you want to build muscle or if you want to maintain your weight, the level of protein in your daily life changes. So you want to talk to your dietitian or your doctor about it. But usually for someone who is not lifting weights or not an athlete, and have a regular, job, they want to maintain your weight, you use 0.8 grams per kilogram of your daily weight, okay? And healthy fats. Also, some omega-3 fatty acids should be included in your weekly regimen, including fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, anchovies, and sardines. Those are great. If you are plant-based, so including things like flax seeds and chia seeds and walnuts and hemp seeds are really good for adding omega-3s into your diet. Omega-3s have properties that can lower your blood pressure, and it can also lower cholesterol. Whole grains, because they're high in nutrients, including fiber, so they have both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. We also talked about that earlier on in another session. And whole grains have all the vitamin Bs, because the endosperm is not taken out. So you have your thiamine, your niacin, your riboflavin, and your pantothenic acid in the whole grains. And you don't have to take any supplements if you're eating your quinoa and your brown rice. Those are really good things to substitute for your white rice and your whole grain noodles also. So you always choose the whole wheat pasta versus the regular pasta, because there's more fiber and more nutrients in there. So fruits and vegetables, we talked about that. Avoid beverages with high fructose corn syrup or even just added sugar, because those are not what we consider a healthy food. Increasing fluid, because if you're increasing fiber, you really need that water to help you with absorption and digestion, and also eliminating waste in your body. So you can always carry a water bottle around you. What I do is sometimes put water bottles around the living room to remind me of drinking water. And there are apps that you can download on your phone or computer that makes a noise and sends you an alarm to remind you to drink water. So there's really no excuse in not drinking enough liquids. Sustainable diet, well, that's really what we're trying to achieve right now, because if a diet is not sustainable, then you can't really adapt a weight loss regimen. And if you can only sustain it for about 1 or 2 weeks, that's something that you really need to talk about with your healthcare professional, your support group, to see how you can adapt to a better sustainable diet that can help you not lose track of your success. So some people lose 5-10 pounds and they're like, yay, I don't need to be on this diet anymore. Well, that actually is false, because that's something that you put yourself on for 2 to 3 weeks, but you need to really understand that that is a very short time, and you really need to be on a diet that's sustainable for months and years at a time, right? That's the foundation of a successful weight loss, is to remain healthy. control your calorie and control your ability to be mindful of when you are hungry versus when you're thirsty. Always ask yourself questions when you're going to make a meal or opening your fridge. Are you really hungry or are you just thirsty? And combining a successful and sustainable diet with increased physical activity really also helps too. Long-term weight loss is requiring you to make permanent changes and not just short-term changes. And set goals that are really realistic. It is obvious that I tell you to set realistic goals, but do you really know what that means? A lot of people don't, and a lot of people choose supplements to help with your weight loss and to help control your weight. But there are so many types of brands out there, and natural doesn't always mean it's safe because these supplements are not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. So some manufacturers may list ingredients on the label, but they may not actually be in the bottle. And you want to really educate yourself to see what you're buying and what you're putting in your body. Some websites such as the Natural Medicines Comprehensive Database can help you confirm the safety and effectiveness of the drugs. But not all brands are on there, so you really have to be mindful of your own research when you're buying these supplements. Choosing your health. This is something that I always put in my slides because it's very important for everybody to choose your health, because without your health, you can't accomplish anything. So if you're smoking, you can talk to your pharmacist to see what they recommend to help with a support system to help you try to quit smoking, because it really negatively impacts circulation and can have increased risk of other chronic diseases such as cancer. Increased physical activity, we talked about why, because it helps stimulate blood flow and also helps build muscle. Maintaining a healthy weight, because being obese or overweight really impacts your blood flow and can have dangerous complications to your body, such as building cholesterol in your arteries, and therefore causes increased your blood pressure, right? Following a healthy diet, we talked about that, good protein source, good fats, healthy whole grains and fruits and vegetables, choosing fiber and choosing water, because you need to stay hydrated to have proper circulation. You don't want to be dehydrated because that can damage your cells, and also you want to lower your inflammation as well. And then reducing stress. So some things that you can look for is a meditation class or some soothing music that you can play, maybe taking a yoga class, or even gardening and spending time in nature can really impact your stress levels. And if you have a good support system, someone you can talk to about your stress, and even someone to laugh with can be very, very helpful, as well as maybe watching some comedy that can be really promoting some stress relief. So remember, maintaining health is more than just one pill or supplement. It's more than just one food or nutrient. And it's more than just one lab result or one exercise. And having a balanced diet, being mindful, and adding exercise in your routine is very important to maintain a healthy weight and help you lose the extra few pounds that you've always wanted to lose, right? And what we're talking about is reading your labels is also very important too. Something that's labeled low fat may be high in other processed items such as refined carbs and sodium. So you want to be mindful. You don't ever want to go shopping when you're hungry. Some support systems that I've listed here: talking to your doctor, your registered dietitian is important. If you don't have one, go to bcdietitians.ca and find one that's close to you and your neighborhood. And you can always visit HealthLink BC or call 811 to ask to talk to a physician or a dietitian, because prevention is always the key. And when you can prevent something, you can prevent other complications, and you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of stress, and a lot of money. Okay, So now we're going to go to my kitchen and we're going to cook up some healthy and yummy foods as we do before. So I have helper here. We have Sadri, who's a nutrition student, and she's going to help me with some recipes today. So what we're making today is some vegetarian spring rolls. And they're a lot easier than you think. So what I have here is just some water that I am going to start boiling. So I'm going to turn this on high. I have some rice noodles here, okay? And I have also some vegetables. So I have a whole carrot and some beets, and I have mushrooms here. And then I have some protein, and this is what you can buy in a grocery store. You can use tofu, but this is some bean curd that I bought. And it's essentially soy milk, but that's been curdled, and they make them into sheets, and they're quite fun to eat, actually. You can actually saute them. They're in sheets like this, and you can use them as wrappers as well. So I'm going to teach you how to make 2 types of rolls, and you can have fun with them. So if you don't have this, you can just buy tofu and cut them into strips. I can teach you how to do that. But this itself is actually a wrapper that you can use to wrap certain things. So with the carrot, I'm just going to we're going to save the skin, actually, because we talked about a lot of antioxidants and fiber that are kept on the skin. So you want to wash the carrot really well. And what I'm doing is just shaving it off slowly. So I'm going to have Saji help me do the rest of the carrot. And we're going to use this in our spring roll later. And then I'm going to cut this mushroom. You can use any type of mushroom, and we're just going to cut them into small strips. Okay, and then choose a variety of different vegetables that you can use in your spring rolls. You can basically wrap anything in the spring roll. Like cabbage is great. You can add a lot of different types of mushrooms. You can add lettuce, kale. All these things are really good for making spring rolls. Okay, so I cut some mushrooms here, and then yeah, you can want to continue with the carrot, so you can scrape the whole carrot. Yeah. We're going to use it as the filling, okay? And then I have some beets here, which is going to give it a lot of color. And this is a pretty big beet, so I'm just going to use about 1/4 of the beet and cut them into strips. Okay, so this is a bean curd sheet, but if you don't have sheets like this, you can buy some rice paper, and this is quite easy to find in local grocery stores. And what you want to do is have a little bit of water around and a plate that's a little bit warped, and you want to soak the rice paper in a little bit of water. So I'm going to get a little bit of water on another plate. Okay, just enough to fill the bottom of this. And you want to grab a rice paper, and you want to just soak it in that water for 30 seconds. And then you want to have a dry plate to put that rice paper on. Okay, so now with all the vegetables, we're going to saute them in the back. Have a little skillet back here and a little drizzle of grapeseed oil. Okay, and now I'm going to put the beets in. Yeah, and once all the carrots have been done, that's good enough. All right, so we literally made like some carrot noodles, and I cut strips of mushrooms. And we're going to saute that with the beets. And then we're going to take another bean curd sheet, and that can also be used as a filling for the rice paper. Okay, so I'm just going to rinse out my knife. Cut some beets with it, and you can cut strips like this. Again, if you can't find bean curd sheets, you can just use regular hard tofu, and this can be your protein. So we're going to saute everything in the back, and you hear a big sizzle, and then I'm going to start wrapping. After you hard cook your vegetables and your protein, if you don't have tofu or bean curd sheets, you can add regular chicken or eggs or beef or any type of meat that you have lying around, and you can saute it together in your vegetables. I'm going to grab some tongs, and then we're going to saute them nicely. So as you can see, the rice paper is very, very soft now, and it's ready to be used for a wrapper. So I have some boiling water here because I want to cook my noodles also, because we're going to use the noodles inside the spring rolls. So after the water becomes boiled, we don't want to really cook it too much because rice noodles cook really easily. So we just want to slowly make it soft and malleable, and after that, we want to turn the heat off, and then we want to drain it in a colander. And we're going to use the rice noodles as a filling. Okay, so in the colander, the water is on the bottom, and the rice noodles are ready to be wrapped. So what I'm going to do is grab about this much of rice noodles and put it on the bottom. A little bit much. Okay. And what I'm doing is, because I'm wrapping each individually, it actually makes it take a little bit longer to eat, and therefore you need to focus on chewing and your portion sizes. So making a spring roll can help you judge how much food you're eating. Okay, so after I sauteed all my vegetables and protein, I'm going to take it out. This doesn't take very long. Okay, and now I have a mix of beets, carrots, mushrooms, and tofu or bean curd sheets in here. And I have a rice paper here. So I'm just also going to grab a little strand of what we've sauteed in the pan and put it in the middle of my wrapper. So if you guys can see, I'm bringing the insides in to hug the filling, and then I'm going to wrap it up into a nice roll like this. And we're going to make a really easy dipping sauce for these later. Okay, so if this was all salad filling inside, you can use romaine lettuce and carrots and raw beets. And if things that inside doesn't need to be cooked, it's ready to be eaten already. You can find these in a lot of Vietnamese restaurants. And you can also bake these and make it crispy. But what we're going to do, we're going to saute them and make it really nice and crispy outside too. So a little bit of oil on your pan, and I'm just going to put them on the pan to start cooking. I'm going to make another rice wrapper. You just need to soak this in for about 20 to 30 seconds. Let it soak up the water. While I do that, I'm going to use this bean curd also to make a different type of wrapper. So these bean curd sheets are very useful as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of noodles in here, and the same thing, I'll add the mushroom, carrot, beets in here. And they do make a really nice crispy roll also, and these ones can also be baked or seared as well. So we're going to do this. Make sure everything gets tucked in, and we're going to put this on the pan as well. So now we've made two different rolls, and you can present it to your guests if you have some dinner parties that are coming over, but also you can enjoy it yourself. So I'm going to make one more of the rice wrapper and one more of the bean curd one. And then I'm going to go into a really, put them on a really nice plate. And you can use a dipping sauce that I make. Basically, any dipping sauce will do for this, but I urge you to find something that has lower in sugar and sodium. Okay, that was easy. Another spring roll done. And I think my pan can fit one more of that big spring roll. So I'm going to do one more of the bean curd wrap here. And those of you who don't eat scrambled eggs, this is actually a good substitution for eggs, because if you can sear these, cut them in strips, they actually have a lot of protein in here and actually kind of taste like a scrambled egg. So this is a good vegan substitution for that. Okay, so now again, another bit of rice noodles. So you see that I didn't need to add any seasoning yet, because I'm going to wait until they're all cooked, and then we can either drizzle the dipping sauce on, or you can use it as a dip. Okay, so let me see if these are ready to be turned. They are quite nice when you turn them, so they get really nice and golden brown. A little drizzle of oil on here, and then I'm going to put my last one on. And then I'll bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see what's happening in the pan. Okay,
So this is what's happening. I'm searing these guys. If you don't want to sear them, you can just put these guys in the oven for about 10 minutes and they'll also get crispy. You see how this one gets really nice and crispy after I flipped it? This one will also be like that as well. And then you want to get a nice serving plate with a little ramekin for your dipping sauce. You see how beautifully golden brown that one gets? I love how that one sears up. And then also this other spring roll is good. And this is also a gluten-free recipe that's super yummy and very exciting for people to try out. This recipe has all your protein as well as your veggies and also your good fat because I used some grapeseed oil. Okay, this one again is ready to be turned. You see how beautiful that turns out? I love how that looks. And then you just want to constantly turn it so that you don't burn each side. And this can almost mimic like an omelet looking like roll, but it's all made with soy milk. All right, so you want to constantly turn your spring rolls so you don't burn each side. And it's okay if there's a little bit of exposed parts in it. You can always hide it with the sauce. But this is almost done. And what I'm going to do after it's almost done is now get some sauce that I make. I make a black garlic, sweet potato, and apple sipping sauce. This is my version of a hoisin sauce. And you can literally just scoop it out of the jar and use this as a dipping sauce for your spring rolls. I trust my own sauces because I know what I put in it. There's sweet potatoes, there's apples, there's black sesame. Ooh, this one is definitely ready. And we're just waiting for this other side to brown. We can take it out of the pan. Okay, these ones are both pretty much ready. See how beautiful that color turns. This one is ready also. And I'm going to turn the heat off. And we're going to get ready to eat some lunch. Cool. This is a good portion size for 2 people already. And knowing that this is a great dipping sauce with a lot of fruits and vegetables and fiber in it, I feel a lot safer and happier eating something like this. You think you can put that over here? Great. So I encourage you to try, you can just put it back on. You can just try the
Bean curd wraps, these are quite easy to find at your local Asian grocery store. If you don't have the bean curd wraps, you can find the rice wrappers also. These are quite cheap. This is about $3 to $4 a pack. And then if you don't have rice noodles, you can use other types of noodles as well. And then this is a great main course or appetizer. So this is my recipe for today, and I hope you guys try something like this at home. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining.